In 1983, the American video game market collapsed. Not slowly, it was a free fall. In less than 2 years, revenue in the United States dropped from $3.2 billion to just $100 million. A 97% decline. Stores were packed with cartridges nobody wanted, companies were shutting down, investors were walking away. Newspapers declared it. Video games were a passing fad. And the fad was over. The market's conclusion was simple. People didn't want to play anymore. But there was a Japanese company that disagreed. Nintendo looked at the same wreckage and asked a different question. What if people still wanted to play, but had been let down so many times that they simply stopped trying? Because the problem wasn't desire, it was trust. The market had been flooded with rushed, poorly made games that promised a lot and delivered nothing. Players stopped buying not because they lost interest, but because they had learned it wasn't worth it. So Nintendo decided to rebuild that trust from the ground up. While previous consoles were built with common parts that any manufacturer could use, Nintendo created a system that blocked unapproved games from running on the hardware. Anyone who wanted to release a game on the NES needed Nintendo's approval. And there was a minimum quality standard to meet. And instead of launching their product as just another video game console, Nintendo called it the Nintendo Entertainment System. Even the cartridges were renamed Game Packs, deliberately avoiding any association with a market that had just collapsed. Then came the game that would change everything. Super Mario Brothers, an Italian plumber, a mushroom, a kingdom. It seemed simple, but it was simple in a way no other game had managed before. Each level taught the player without a single word of instruction. Every obstacle made sense. Every victory felt earned. Kids played, adults watched, and wanted to play too. Nintendo set up in-store demo kiosks so anyone could try before buying. And they struck a bold deal with retailers. Stores wouldn't pay for inventory that didn't sell. Nintendo took all the risk. The bet paid off. But what happened next is what most people miss. Nintendo's success didn't just save one company, it reopened a door the entire world had slammed shut. Sega entered, then Sony with the PlayStation, then Microsoft with the Xbox. Each new competitor validated what Nintendo had wagered alone, that this market hadn't died. It had simply been mismanaged. One company walked into a ruined industry, rebuilt consumer trust, and proved the business was real. Everyone else followed the path Nintendo had opened. And at the center of all of it, a mustachioed plumber who refused to stay on the screen. Mario moved onto t-shirts, toys, animated series. He became a board game, a clock, a theme park. In 2023, he made it to the big screen and grossed over $1.3 billion, becoming the highest-grossing film of that year. Today, people pay to enter the Mushroom Kingdom, to ride Mario Kart, to exist for a few hours inside a world that started as pixels on an 8-bit screen in 1985. The Mario franchise became the best-selling video game franchise in history. Nearly 1 billion copies sold. And the industry Nintendo rebuilt from rubble? In 2024, it generated around $272 billion, nearly 3 times more than the entire global film industry. Hollywood is massive, and games are almost 3 times bigger. All of this from an industry the world had declared dead in 1983. What Nintendo understood, and what everyone else ignored, is that markets don't die from lack of interest. They die from lack of trust. When you rebuild trust, interest comes back. And when interest comes back in a market that everyone else abandoned, you're not just saving a business, you're building an entire industry